Hi, my name is Ruby Campo, and I will be doing my presentation on U.S. math achievement. So, the problem with math in the U.S. is that our system is broken. We have to improve our math education to remain economically competitive and a leader in new technologies. Currently, we're not doing horrible, but we're not doing great either. We're just mediocre. So according to the TIMSS 2015 data, we've ranked number 14, and our scores actually went down from 2011, from the average score being 541 to 539 in 2015. So it looks like we're not improving. Current math curriculum does not fit 21st century needs, so we need to work on that because currently we are suffering from a shortage in STEM jobs. Like we don't have enough people going into those jobs in our country, so we are being forced to recruit from outside. Some strategies. So 29% of learning outcomes is a result of instructional strategies. So the strategies that teachers choose are going to have a big effect on students' learning outcomes. Currently, the US is still mainly doing memorization strategies and a lot of emphasis on like or relying on worksheets. The US spends a lot of time practicing and doing routines and procedures, and I feel I'm guilty of that. It's just spending so much time on that, and we don't take enough time to actually do problem solving like Japan does. Japan is about, I believe, 30% of their time is spent on problem solving, while the US spends about 90% of their time practicing routines and procedures in math. Some effective strategies for teaching math are project based learning and problem based learning. So, this is where kids get to apply math a lot of times into real world problems, and they get to research and find answers instead of just learning basic math. They get to apply it, and it's a known effective strategy. Another effective strategy is to engage students in discussions and ask them a lot of questions to check for understanding. Teacher preparation. So it's really important that teachers are getting the proper training to meet the demands of our society. Currently, or according to 2015 data, 62% of US teachers participated in professional development in mathematics or pedagogy instruction. Only 13% of our US teachers major in primary education and major or specialize in math, according to TIMSS 2015 data. These are teachers that are teaching math. They obviously, like in the US, they all had to go through their credentialing program, but only 13% of them actually major in primary education and specialize in math. And again, that's a problem because only 60% of those US teachers are actually getting professional development to improve their math instruction. One way to properly train our math teachers to allow them to visit countries where they have effective math programs. I actually had I'm an English teacher. I'm not a math teacher, but I actually had a teacher from Shanghai come into my school this year, and they were actually there to observe like English strategies because they're teaching their kids English, and I thought that was awesome. And I wish we could actually go and get to do that and observe teachers and doing their programs. Um, Another country that's successful in math is Japan. They actually do what they call lesson studies, where teachers are allowed to present their lesson in front of students, teachers, and at least one university professor. And this is ahead of time before they actually do it in front of their like real students. And then after that lesson, they are able to get feedback and can improve their instruction. So when they actually go into the classroom and teach their students, they don't have to be doing so much reteaching since they already like tested out the lesson and they got to practice it in front of people and got feedback. A big issue is pacing in math education. So in elementary school or throughout like just school in the US, for Common Core, kids get the same standards. They just keep repeating themselves. For example, like there's like a standard for multiplying, but every year there's like another layer added to it. For example, like in third grade, students had to multiply two digits times one digit numbers. In fourth grade, they have to multiply two digits times two digits. Fifth grade, they have to multiply three-digit numbers times two-digit numbers. So as you can see, there's a layer added to each standard every year. Now, that sounds all great, except for the fact that only that according to CAPS data, 64% of California students from grades 3rd to 11th scored a 1 or lowest on the 2018 CAS test. That means 64% of students did not meet the standards of math. Yet they are still being moved on to the next grade level without having that knowledge. And then they move on to the next grade level, and teachers expect them to know the past standards, and they don't. So it's causing students to fall behind. Now, countries like Singapore, they take a slower pace. Instead of doing so many topics every year, they really promote a deeper understanding of numbers and math concepts. And there's actually states like New York that have actually tried out these strategies. And at first they thought it was, something a little bit weird, like really focusing on like number concepts, but they have found success. Um, Another solution for pacing will be corrective teaching or like interventions to help students catch up if they fall behind. In countries like Finland, they have three teachers in the classroom, two just oversee instruction, while the third one focuses on those struggling students, and they actually make sure that no student is like falling behind and everyone's caught up to date. Another thing, math education in the US is it doesn't do a really good job at making real life connections. Only 45% of eighth grade US students find value in math. I feel that students can find more value in math if they can apply it to the everyday life. What I hear in math classes, for example, like students learning how to do like, simple multiplication, they're like, why do I need to learn how to multiply when I can just use a calculator? And it's hard to like nowadays because everybody has a calculator in their hand, so on their phone. So how do we get students to actually find value in learning what we're teaching them? I think a good way to do that would be to have students take classes where it's actually a topic that's related to real life. Maybe not like currently the real life, but like even just the future. For example, like students can take personal finance classes, stocks, taxes, and credit. They can apply all math concepts towards that, but actually find value in learning those things. Conclusion. Overall, there are issues with teaching strategies, pacing, and teacher preparation programs that impede the U.S. from moving up in national math rankings. One way we can begin the process of improving scores to present students with the purpose behind math. Students need to learn the purpose of math goes beyond the classroom and can be used in their everyday life. Teachers don't often speak of the purpose behind math because they are caught up teaching standards and making sure students do well on their tests. Students can find more value in math if they feel there's a value in learning the skills. And here are my references. Thank you very much.